LZ-35. We're losing center sector. Hold.
Hey guys, Fetz here, and I have a Medal of Honor Warfighter breakdown video for you. We're going to go over some tips and tactics used in this gameplay. We're going to focus on the Pointman class, and with that, the gun I'm going to be featuring is the LaRue OBR 5.56. Now this is the SFODD specification, if you want to look that up and see what all that comes with. I basically go for the accuracy mods on it. I like the heavy barrel, and I like a decent scope. Now I love the hybrid scope. You can see it on screen there, meaning I can switch between an ACOG style scope and a red dot scope. I love that flexibility on all the guns that have it in the game so far, and I found that anytime I have an opportunity to run that, I prefer that. So that's my basic loadout. Of course I have a shotgun secondary with this class. I've got some decent speed. I don't have lethal grenades. I get flashbangs, but I actually don't mind that. I get a lot of use out of them. We're playing sector control on this map. I've got a couple other guys running with me, and I've started to get a good feel for this. Center base is very important, but this is more of a triangular map, so the games can swing quite a bit with flanks on here. Still, the key early on is to hold center, and I make it my priority to stick my neck out, get on center here, and help get this capture early on. And I find that that aggressiveness in this game mode goes a long ways. If you can get out front early, you can keep yourself from being the one getting spawn trapped, and it helps quite a bit. So one of the things I started to notice in this game that's a little unique is the lean feature. At this point I hadn't used it yet, but this death right here actually convinced me to learn to use the lean feature in the game. If you're playing on Xbox, as I am, the left bumper is your lean. It replaces your aim down sight. So instead of holding down the left trigger to aim down sight, you hold down the left bumper, and then as soon as you move your right stick to lean, to initiate the lean, it brings up your scope as the left trigger would, as the aim down sight does. So at first it's a little confusing, but it becomes intuitive very quickly, I found. And a little bit of practice using it, and I really liked it. One of the added benefits is you're stationary when you do it, so it improves your accuracy. So there's a lot of benefits. It does limit your mobility, and that's the downside of it. So it's situational. You're going to find situations where it's advantageous. You're only exposing a small portion of your silhouette when you use it. So there is a pretty big advantage to be gained by using that. So I encourage you to give it a try. You know, if you're coming from Call of Duty like me, or even Battlefield like me, it can be a little different to get used to. So let's talk a little bit more about this gun. I've actually really fallen in love with it. If you have good accuracy and stick control, it's a lot of fun. It does take, I think it's 4 shots at medium range, so you want to look at your multipliers. Your headshot multiplier is really important with this. Because of its accuracy, you can get those headshots. You saw them on screen there. 1.3 multiplier was that top number for the headshot, 1.0 to the body. And I find that to be important. But the wild card with it is the magnum ammo, and you see I have 9 rounds left here, and I drop both of these guys. I turn on them and I bring them down, and that's because I have the magnum ammo loaded. So this class has the ability to use magnum ammo. That's like my upgrade or perk. Before I go on about that, I want to point out here, if you look at the screen, I throw this, there's no one on the mini-map. As soon as I put this UAV up, watch what happens behind me. Red dots everywhere. And my awareness of watching that mini-map allows me to turn and take out both of these guys that are flanking my team here. That was a really heads-up play. And when you're throwing these UAVs, you should be looking at the mini-map and keeping an eye up, because that's the whole point. I do suffer here because I thought I called in that kill streak, and I'm kind of waiting for it to come and save us from the situation we're in where we're kind of pinched. It never goes off. I realize I still have it. So I go ahead and call it again. I don't know why it kind of faked me out there. It's just kind of a glitch. But I do get it called in. And then I look behind and I see 3 dots coming around, and I'm starting to get a bad feeling about where we are. Because I know I'm on radar. I'm not using a suppressor of any sort. And I get kind of into a bad situation here with Jeff. I'm trying to play it tight. I'm trying to let him spawn, and the nade spam gets to us eventually here. So, you know, that's unfortunate. I was on a pretty good score streak, but this one does come to an end here really shortly. Back to the LaRue, the OBR. I really like the accuracy. I like the Magnum ammo that the Pointman class gets. It really, with a full auto gun like the other rifles the class gets, the Magnum ammo is very difficult to use because the recoil that it adds is nearly impossible to manage. Now with the semi-auto LaRue, and it is a semi-auto gun, meaning every time you pull the trigger it fires. You can't hold it down. With it, I don't notice the recoil hurting me as much because the accuracy is so good. Now at range the gun is not great. It is 14 points of damage at distance over 50 meters. And it has a pretty slow rate of fire, so that 14 points ends up being something like 7 shots to the body, and that's a lot. That's quite a bit to keep on target and put on a guy before he can duck into cover. So I find that it doesn't replace a sniper rifle, which is good. That's a balance issue that's really good. But it can handle these up close encounters like you see right now. It excels at medium range. Like right here, this guy's just, I can barely see him, and I drop him no problem, and that's because I'm running the Magnum ammo. That really helps there. So at that medium range, it just shines, and it can do pretty well at long range. It's no sniper rifle, but it's better than the full auto guns at range. So I found it to be really good. If you haven't used it yet because you're afraid of it being semi-auto, give it a try. Now if your aim's terrible, you're probably not gonna like it, because you do have to be able to stay on target with it and get on target fast with it and hit those early shots. But most of you guys have really good aim, and if that's the case, it can be a really effective gun. Now here you see me start pulling in the lean. You can see the way it does that skip. That's because I'm leaning and I'm realizing I don't see what I want to see, so I'm sliding out and leaning some more, and it works. I take that guy out, I give him a minimum profile. Unfortunately, he had pulled out his noob tube, and you know, that's fine. That's the upgrade his class has. It's not that powerful. It's just an unfortunate death. He had made a smart play there and gone to his explosive weapon. I had made a smart play and been using my lean, so we did trade. Right there you see the LaRue shine up close with a hip fire. The hip fire is not great, but it works in a pinch. So really like that, and really like that I've learned the lean tactic, and I think those are things that really help me have a good time using this gun quite a bit. One of the things I noticed with the Pointman class, I have to resist the urge to reload. I like to reload in this game because I feel like you always need a full magazine in a lot of situations, but I keep wanting to reload the Magnum ammo instead of exhaust it, and I have to kind of train myself not to do that. It takes a couple games. So anyways, I just want to cover a few tips about you know, this game mode, mainly this class. I had kind of overlooked it sticking with the Assaulter, but I'm really enjoying it. It's a really powerful class. It kind of shows the balance the classes have, and hope you guys give it a try. Don't bypass the LaRue just because it's semi-auto. It can be a pretty powerful gun, and I'd like to do a gun review on it maybe in the future. So otherwise, that kind of wraps it up for this video, guys. Not a whole lot of kills. I've noticed that in the game the scores are a little bit lower, but pretty good ratio, and we win, most importantly, and the other team quits out on us. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up for 11 Bravo. This is Fetz, and I'm out.